Gotta move me up. There we go.
There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Disco Heat on
Hello,
the
hello.
KASSEM live stream. Welcome, brother. We got
Hello.
an echo. Okay, got to fix the echo. Uno momento, por favor.
I'm brushing up any Spanish.
Sí, sí se puede.
Muy bien, muy bien.
I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that's right. Are we still getting an echo, guys? That's better? You guys are good? Echo gone. Echo located. Disco Heat, thank you so much for coming on in a very impromptu guest star on my Twitch stream. Hello, sir.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody going?
We're going great.
Yeah.
How you going? See that?
Yeah. I'm going good, mate. Yeah. Cheers for the boys.
Cheers to you. Okay, so you're in Mexico currently. Whereabouts in Mexico are you?
I'm in Jalisco. I'm in Guadalajara, which is in the center of Mexico.
Okay. This is what I want to know. I'm going to give you just sort of like a very formal interview style here. I'm going to lob some softballs, and I want to hear your story. I'm going to hear about how you started your career and how you ended up in Mexico. Let's start with your age. How old are you, sir?
36.
Oh, he's a big boy. Okay,
Yeah, I'm an older
36. Well, you're on the older side. I would imagine most people on Twitch are. Somebody told me the average age of a Twitch user is 35. Do you think that's correct?
No way. There's no way.
It seems like they've got to
Much
be
younger.
younger, right?
Got to be younger. Way younger. In the mid-20s minimum.
Yeah. It feels like everyone that I see on here is well, at least in this chat, everyone feels like they're probably between 30 to 30. Maybe I'd say average age is probably 32 because we're an older crowd. People that know me are probably a little older, but it does feel like, immortality there says 18 to 23. That feels about right.
Yeah, I think maybe your audience and my audience will probably be in the 28 plus for sure.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. Where'd you get your start? How did you start? And what led you to the space and place that you're in now?
When I was about 14 or 15 years old, I was into music. I started collecting records. A DJ in Melbourne, Australia. I was DJing from like Wednesday to Monday. And then the Tuesday and Wednesdays, I would have off, usually play games or whatever. Then a game it came in, and it was called League of Legends, believe it or not. Started playing that. Then I had a crazy idea of mixing music from the 60s and 70s, even the early 80s of new wave and like reggae, and put them into League of Legends videos. So basically, what I did, I merged what I was doing in my off time as my job, and I put them together. And the first video I made went viral, and then I realized that I could probably make money doing that.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm getting a crazy echo now. Shit. What did I do? Did I break it? Can you say something?
Hello, test.
Okay,
test,
now
test,
it's
test.
good. Okay, so you started implementing stuff from your day job into this new. Now, were you were playing League of Legends? You were just playing it. You just got into it, and you were like, what sort of made you take that step of creating content around it? Did you see somebody that inspired you, or did you just feel like there was a giant gap waiting to be filled there?
Definitely, there was definitely a huge gap because back in those days, which well, I say those days, but it was like maybe 8 years ago, 7 years ago, the average like League of Legends video always had really shit music. And
Yeah.
I thought, well, why can't we have something that's real funky or really really good to have with these montages? Because everyone's using the same kind of music, the same kind of non-copyright music. So I decided just to merge them together, and I mean that's where I got started.
When did you know that it was like a success, or when did you feel like, was it instantly where you're like, oh, everyone was like, oh, this is crazy, this is really cool, or did it take some time? How did that work?
Yeah, well, I could say I got pretty lucky on the first video because it went viral straight away, and
Oh,
then
okay, yeah, that's great.
I think it hit me when I got the letter from Google. and it says we had the AdSense. I'm sure you know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. You
Yes.
open it up, and it's like a Google letter. Where did this
Yeah.
come from? You open it up, and it says you have $98 in your account. It's like I was like, wait a minute, I can. You start fusing everything together. I can make money by
Yeah.
making videos. That's when
Yeah.
I sort of everything started clicking into my head. And then slowly over time, I started letting go more of the DJ stuff because I was already DJing for 8 9 years at that time. Staying up late at the club and getting waking up in weird places, all that kind of stuff. So I decided to sort of merge my way onto more content creating.
Yeah. Oh, so, okay. So what was the sort of time span from that first upload, that first viral video, to the point where you sort of said, "I'm gonna do this full time"?
Like 6 months, 6 months
Oh,
in.
that's quick.
Yeah, very
That's
very quick. In the YouTube world, it's definitely a quick transition
yeah,
because I
and
was making money on the side, but then the checks were coming in, so I was like, I don't have to get up in the morning. I don't have to stay up late. I can,
yeah,
it's this weird. It's very strange because you sort of take a gamble, right? I'm sure you know this that
oh,
you take a
there is
gamble.
that step you have to take, and I remember mine specifically. And I was working. Everyone knows I kind of worked at Best Buy for a large. I worked there for 10 years, but at the last little few months, the last 6 months, I went to go work for a company Best Buy owned called Magnolia Audio Video. And it was a very different place than Best Buy. It was all commission based. Best Buy traditionally was non commission, just like help move boxes and I get paid the same whether I sell you a $30,000 home entertainment system or you just come in for a cable. I get paid the same. But at Magnolia Audio Video, it was all commission based. Everyone there, it was a small store. It was in Santa Monica, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. And no one wanted to help me. No one wanted to be friends. Literally, no one showed me how to work the computer. I had to ask the manager who wasn't even like in the store on a regular basis to like, hey, how do I ring somebody up? God forbid I accidentally make a sale. How do I ring somebody up for that? And I almost got into a fight with one of the guys. It was like a truly awful experience. And that time, I had moved to Santa Monica because I was like doing a lot of auditioning and things, and I was sort of trying to move that way for my career. And then the YouTube thing was about to pop. I knew I'd been trying some stuff, and I was doing a lot of formats online. And then eventually, I did a man on the street piece for a guy called Philip DeFranco, and I shot it on the street, and then I remember calling him and just being like, hey, dude, if I shoot this 1 minute thing that I shoot on the beach and incorporate it into the news that you're talking about that day, would you want to use it? He's like, yeah, go out and use it. And like I've borrowed my friend's camera. I went to Radio Shack. I bought a microphone. I had my friend, a roommate, operate the camera. It was like completely blown out, no white balance, and it was just like I edited it down like in Final Cut. Like one of my first times using Final Cut, I had to like figure out how to like put all these clips together, and then I turned in this like 45-second long clip, and he used that in his video the next day, and then it was similar to you. It kind of blew up. And then it was like 2 weeks later, I put in my 2 weeks at the place I was working at, and this sort of like whole new avenue was opened up to me because maybe kind of what you're talking about, the DJ life was it less glamorous and maybe it appears when I think of working as a DJ, it's like, oh, you probably get lots of chicks, and if you're into drugs and like there's all that, and there. To me, it seems like one of those things that's very cool, but you can age out of very quickly. What was your experience sort of being a DJ in those early days?
Yeah, well, I came to the realization that I was done with it is because I was drinking more, doing drugs more, hanging out
Yeah.
with really degenerate people,
Yeah.
and sort of YouTube came at a very at the crossroads where I was like almost an escape because the people I was DJing with and the people that I was hanging out with were all in their 40s, still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So then I started thinking, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Do I want to be in their position and take their spots when when they're done?
Right.
So yeah, it was it's just like you start thinking about all these different things that you can move on to, and it seems like that content creation came at the perfect time.
Yeah. So what year was that around for you when all that was?
To 2014,
Okay.
2000 yeah, 2014 is where everything started. I started
Yeah.
transitioning from into the online world, as they say, which is weird because I was never into this world. Does that make
Sure.
sense? Like the
Oh,
video
absolutely.
games,
Yeah.
World of Warcraft in high school. I used to tease those kids, but now I ended up on the opposite side.
So you went to YouTube, and then so how did Twitch sort of find its way into your content?
Um, I remember going. It was like Justin TV or something, and
Mm-hmm.
people were playing games live, and I thought, wow, I've always wanted to do some kind of like something on radio. Like I used to have a radio show, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, imagine if I could play music, talk shit, and play games at the same time. It could be like this combined radio station.
Yeah.
And that's exactly that's how that started. And ever since then I've always been streaming. I've taken a few months off here and there as I got older, but even now, still, now that I live in Mexico, I've got so much free time. So now that more streaming has been happening.
Well, let's talk about sort of what happened that trip from Australia to Mexico. What sort of led you out there, and how are you liking it there now?
Well, I was born raised in Melbourne my whole
Mm-hmm.
life. I know the city like the back of my hand. Um, the COVID hit, and for those people who don't know, Melbourne got the strictest lockdown in the world. The strictest. I
Oh,
was
I didn't
in
know that.
Yeah, and we
Mm.
were in curfew for about a year and a half, which meant that you couldn't go out after 8 p.m. You couldn't go further than 5 kilometers from your house.
Wow.
Uh,
Holy
and
smokes.
yeah, it was really, really tough mentally and financially because no one could work
Yeah.
and you couldn't travel anywhere. So we couldn't hang out with friends and we couldn't travel and we couldn't do a lot of things. So I was in that mess for about 2 years. And when they opened the borders, like during the end of that, I was thinking I'm either going to leave. I'm either going to move to Poland, just randomly move to Poland, learn a new language, new culture, everything, or move to Mexico. Because my parents are from Argentina, so I'm Australian, born and raised, but my parents are South American, so that's why I look a bit,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, I don't look Australian, but I sound Australian. So I already know the language. So when the borders opened, I came to Mexico straight away, and I left.
Oh,
Like
wow.
all the friends that we were hanging out together, all in Australia, every single one of us left. Like some guys went to Africa, some other guys moved to England. Everyone just literally disbanded from the city because it was so rough. It was
Oh
really
my
rough.
gosh.
I know it sounds like, oh, we're in lockdown, play games, but this one was like,
No, I can imagine. I mean, good
it
for
was
you
really
guys
tough.
for doing something about it. That's got to be tough. All your friends sort of moved to different countries. Do you guys still find a way to do you guys all get online and play games together, or have you created a sort of new group of friends out there in Mexico?
Yeah, well, I met my current girlfriend here at the moment,
Oh,
so
hell yeah, brother.
you know what I'm saying. The Mexicans, as much
That's
as the
right.
weather's good, they're nice and spicy. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it was God's plan in the end for me to be here, so here I am.
Oh, awesome, man! That's
Yeah,
what a cool story. Do you
I
have
appreciate it.
plans to stay there for a while, or are you thinking about sort of like moving somewhere else? Have you got a travel sort of itching you now?
Yeah, well, I was in San Francisco 2 weeks ago. Visit my brother. My brother lives there, and
Mm-hmm.
did a bit of that. Me and the girlfriend, I'll call her Miss Disco for the audience. Me and Miss Disco have been we went to Cancun and all the tourist spots. We plan to move closer to the coast, maybe next year, because Guadalajara is a beautiful city, food's
Yeah.
good, people are nice, weather's fantastic. But sometimes we need the I'm Australian, I love the water. I
Yeah.
was like, we need some water right here. Also, excuse all this. I was doing a bit of renovations for the stream,
Thank you for
and all the.
addressing it. It's something it's been boggling my mind. I mean, the chat's
Mm-hmm.
been nonstop about it, and I'm glad you were
Crazy.
able to sort of get ahead of it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, mate.
What is your so now what's your Twitch schedule? Where can we like how many days a week can we find you? Do you have a YouTube as well that we can watch VODs on and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Just search Disco Heat anyway.
Okay.
It's a very unique name on Twitter, YouTube, on Twitch. I stream almost every day. Like today, I'm not streaming, but tomorrow we're playing. I think Sonic comes out tomorrow. I think
Yeah, there's a
we're playing
Sonic
that.
game that comes out. Yes. I wonder if my
Yeah.
computer can handle it.
Well, you're at a 1060, right?
Yeah, I
From
got a
what I heard.
piece of shit 1060. Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. I am trying to get that 4090. I would love to cook some meat on it. I don't know what kind of sort of rig you have or if you have any recommendations, but I am very, very close to upgrading.
Yeah, I just upgraded maybe 2 months ago to a 3060 Ti, and it's been doing everything that I need.
Yeah.
Streaming a YouTube and everything, like
Yeah.
rendering. It's really really good. I got an i9 on it or an i7,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah,
That sounds
amazing.
about all like you would need. Unfortunately, I have this complex about needing to have the best thing, and I'm working through it. So, Disco, thank you so much for coming up. So, like, impromptu, and it was really nice to kind of hear your story, guys. Let's get a shout out for Disco Heat in the chat. I'm obviously a much smaller streamer, but anyone that didn't know who you were before, I'm glad you were able to sort of expose yourself to them in a non sort of illegal way. I'm following your stream, and I will tune in whenever I see you, and and search for your stuff on YouTube, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me. I know this was a last minute thing. It was good to actually use this guest star thing because I got to activate my account.
Yes, it was a great way to sort of. It actually works really well. It was a great way for me to test it, and without fumbling around, and I was able to chat with somebody who was very interesting. So yeah, thanks again, and I will tune into your stream this week.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me, and I guess I'll see you guys soon.
All
Thanks,
right.
KASSEM. You're a legend. Take it easy.
All right, see you, Disco. Wow, how about that, guys? Huh? That was insane. I gotta fix this. 1 second, un momento. Dude, we just had our first interview, our first talk show interview. We are a legit Twitch stream. Oh my gosh, let's see. Is this good? Is this better? Here we go. How about that? What I miss in the chat? Let's see. Hi from Russia. You're subscribed from 2006. Jesus, was I even out there in 2006? You might have been one of the first people on YouTube, man. Thank you so much.